Hey everyone, Sari here, and welcome to the highlights from this week of Astra Season Offense matches. It's been a bit longer than I expected since my last AR video. There were a mix of reasons for the abrupt hiatus, from life keeping me busy and streams, to feeling a bit of burnout with Faye. I'm hoping that the months away from making videos has let me recharge enough to settle back into things. And while I might not have been uploading matches, I've still been keeping up with the game. And last month's Valentine's banner was an unexpected treat for me, although not so much for my warp savings. Edelgard is up to her usual triple action shenanigans with her new ult, but this time with the added benefit of not needing Gale Force to pull them off. She's also the most mobile armor currently in the game, thanks to her built-in Canto, and her ability to disarm enemy specials makes her extremely difficult to withstand in consecutive combats. I didn't focus on Dimitri as much as Edelgard, but that didn't mean I was leaving him out of the spotlight this week. They complement each other very well. His high-speed approach and extremely safe initiations let him tackle enemies that Edelgard might struggle against, but it's his ability to purge both bonuses and Dragon Veins that really sets him apart. Giving him Fatal Smoke rounds out his role as Wall Breaker beautifully, even if it does mean sacrificing a bit of team mobility. Sakura rounded things out as a support. She's an absolute game-changer for hit-and-run strategies, both by mitigating the effects of Canto control and by giving Canto-enabled allies a long-range escape after their combats. It's especially effective when paired with Edelgard and Dimitri, whose extra actions and second Canto let them take full advantage of the escape route. Mythic Core hasn't changed much over the last several months. I'm still stalling on proper updates to Asher and Thor's kits post-remix, but they do very well with their basics. So let's get to the first match. This first match was an interesting one. While Hector's choice of weapon is questionable, the team around him is far more intimidating. A near-save Nidogger, backed up by both Heathran and rocky terrain, isn't something that most Gale Force teams will be prepared to break through, and the out-of-season Laradar turns the very impressive Grease and Mooseball into a powerful way to dismantle a decoy-sabotaged squad. Freya, as always, does a great job of keeping the team penalty-free, and as a whole, this team is tricky for a melee squad to break through. I can't actually send Edelgard in to attack here. He wouldn't manage to take down Nid in one round, so I send Dimitri in first. It was a much safer combat with her overall, even though this combat doesn't do any damage.
Day of devotion.
The combat isn't what I'm worried about here. It's mostly about getting rid of this terrain and purging a couple of Nid's buffs. And with that done, and a little bit of help from Sakura, we can have Edelgard warp forward and start to take the team apart.
Know that I'm grateful.
Laradar is just a little bit too far out of range to block a melee warp from reaching this tile, which gives Edelgard a very easy way in.
The day of devotion.
And while Grease's Canto control is doing its best,
Of course.
it's not going to stop us from just ducking in and out, thanks to Sakura.
Day of devotion.
And with Nid out of the way, the rest of the team is pretty easy pickings. With that said, I do still need to be careful about staying out of range of them for the coming turn. We're not going to clear out their entire team here, and the Hass and Celica engaged Heathran isn't something I'd like to stay in range of.
Well then.
The Sigurd engaged Mooseball is also not someone I want to have attacking us in the enemy phase.
I am grateful.
But thankfully, with a bit of help from Sakura, we can just Canto all the way out and set up for the next turn.
Will submit.
Close your eyes.
By your will.
I am the answer.
From here, things are pretty straightforward to clean up.
Why not?
I can just have Dimitri go in, take out Mooseball.
On my way. This is for you.
And then go in to
Know
take
that
down
I'm grateful.
Aether. I did goof a little bit here. Moving Dimitri all the way back means that he can't quite Kanto
Me mine.
out again here. Partly because I didn't move Sakura out first. So he's not able to get out of range of Larry
I seek
here,
a foe.
but Thor can get over there to reposition him out.
There is but one
And
future.
we wait another turn so that we can pick up the pots and close out the match.
They will submit.
Yes.
I see your plan.
Oh, I'll do it.
Well then. The day of devotion.
This match was a really fun one to run into. While the team doesn't have any form of warp bubble, that doesn't make it easy to attack into them safely. Sigurd, Celica, and Micaiah give the team plenty of reach, especially with Azura to boost them forwards. Meanwhile, the combination of Kanto Curb, two Heathran-enabled saviors, and the lines of terrain and traps in the way make this a very difficult formation to handle. And the level of investment on the team is pretty intimidating, to say the least. Thankfully, we do have a couple of advantages here. Sakura's ability to rescue allies from the front lines is invaluable against a setup like this, and the bonus weak stats also mean that both Edelgard and Dimitri can safely ignore hex traps to attack the right side directly. Which is
Very well.
how we're planning to get things started. Sakura opens up a
Yes.
path forwards, and once we've
Of
done
course.
that, Dimitri can charge in and knock out their north save for Mortis.
Day of devotion.
From there, I pull him back one
Know that
tile
I'm
and have
grateful.
Edelgard start moving forward into position.
Why not?
Plumeria can dance her,
Your plan.
and then we send Dimitri in to knock out Heathran, and purge any buffs that are left on their team. Even with the
Behold
Magu's
my
friend in
gratitude!
Peace, Heathran's not surviving this. And from there, Dimitri can Kanto out to safety. Well, more like warp out to safety.
Well then.
And Edelgard can get to work. Sigurd is the first one on the list,
Behave yourself.
which makes this right side of the map safe to stay in. And from there, she can move
Know
in
that I'm grateful.
and knock out Celica to start making the left side of the map
The
safe as
day
well.
of devotion.
This would normally be overextending, but thanks to Sakura, it's really not.
I see your
And
plan.
Edelgard can warp all the way past everything
I seek a foe.
and break the tactic room on her way out. With most of their team out of the way, it's just a matter of cleaning things up and making sure we can
On my
reach the
way.
Aether pots afterwards. Which
Well
means I
then.
don't actually want to go after Fjorm first. Repositioning Edelgard forwards and having
The
her attack
day
as
of
Zura is
devotion.
mostly just fishing to see if the trap is real. If it was, I would have been able to have Thor and Plumeria
They will
get in
submit.
position to dance her and let her actually take
There
them
is
both out.
but one future.
It wasn't real, so makes things a little more straightforward.
Is anyone hurt?
And also means that Sakura can duck in and pick up our first Aether pot.
I see your plan.
Edelgard can pick up Micaiah,
Your story is over.
and then I can have the Thor and Plumeria combo leapfrog forward to grab our
I'll
second
do it.
pot before we close out the match.
I seek a foe.
Know that I'm grateful. I am grateful.
This match was a bit more straightforward than the others, but that didn't make it much less threatening. The Alphons anchoring their team is an intimidating wall to break through, especially when backed up by a Femortis, and also makes the entire team harder to handle as each turn goes by. Dimitri, as we've seen so far, is not a threat to underestimate either, and a Celica-engaged Felix is always a menace. The three of them also create a lot of threat on the map thanks to their extra movement, which can make it difficult to stay safe once things start moving. Unfortunately for them, their setup is a bit vulnerable to some of the same tricks they're using on their team. Dimitri has a clear path to start things off by engaging Alphons, and once he's down, the rest of the team is left pretty exposed.
Is anyone hurt?
Know that I'm grateful.
I do move
Close
Edelgard
your
forward
eyes.
to make sure that everyone gets exposed by debuffs properly,
I see your plan.
and once that's done, she can just march on in to deal with Felix.
I am grateful.
Of course.
Dimitri can move in and take on the mirror match.
Be mine.
And then use Sakura to counter
Well then.
all the way to safety. Before Edelgard dismantles the last bits of their bulk.
The day of devotion.
Taking Heathorn out this turn means that we won't have to worry about the Nectar on the next one. And finishing by
Know
knocking
that I'm
out
grateful.
Freyr means that they can't stop our debuffs either.
I am grateful.
I seek a foe.
And from there, with 5 of them out of the way, it's a pretty
There's but
straightforward
one future.
match to close out.
Yes.
Reaching this pot in the top right
They
took a
will
moment for me to
submit.
puzzle out, but thankfully
Close
between
your eyes.
Thor, Plumeria, and Ashura, it's
I am
not
the
too hard to
answer.
reach.
I see your
And
plan.
we can actually have Edelgard take advantage of the post-Kento Gale Force that doesn't require combat
Behave yourself.
after she takes down Mortis to start things off. Once she gets this initial reset,
Well
her
then.
second action can come from just breaking a pot, and then she can use her
Know
third
that I'm grateful.
to knock out Robin and close things out.
I am grateful.
This match was an excellent way to close out the week. The layout is deceptively tricky to navigate. The 2 emblem lanes threaten the entire map, and having Embla and Heathorn behind them to disable Savior and healing makes them a headache to handle with an enemy phase team. The Lin engaged Athos is an excellent third threat for any tanks trying to find a forward position, and Nidogger anchors the squad against any warping or sniper-on-sniper strategies. Athos also gives them an 8th unit for attackers to worry about, and since you can't see who it is ahead of time, it can turn a stable situation into something much scarier if the circle is placed well. This dense wall of structures and
Yes.
traps is the other half of the puzzle. They make it extremely difficult to
Is
engage this
anyone
team on
hurt?
the first or even second turns, putting a lot of pressure on the safety fence, even if the catapult misses it.
Close your eyes.
And it does work on me here too.
They
I have to
will
take the first
submit.
turn just to open up this wall and give myself a way in,
Well then.
to start attacking things on the second turn.
On my way.
Thankfully, while Nidogger's very good at screening this team against ranged attackers, there's not much she can do about Dimitri just walking
Know
up
that I'm
and
grateful.
attacking Lin directly.
Of course. Be mine!
My original plan here, after having Dimitri open up
I'll
a hole
do
in the
it.
wall, was to smite Edelgard forwards,
I am the answer.
and then have her attack Freyr.
On my way!
Unfortunately, I kind of fat-fingered that and grabbed Dimitri instead, and while he can handle Freyr without much of a problem, it
This
does mean
is
that
for
we're
you.
not killing apart as much of this team as I was planning to on the second turn. He can still escape, thanks to Sakura, and Edelgard can get out too, thanks to
Very
her
well.
own Kanto. And it's not like they can reach us,
Know that
so
I'm
the safe
grateful.
defense still kicks in here. I was planning to have at least one or two more of them knocked out before this coming turn.
By your will.
And seeing a second New Year's Nid show up as
Know
their
that I'm
reinforcement
grateful.
was a little bit of a moment. Thankfully, since this Nid didn't get a chance to transform,
Your
since she
story
shows
is
up at the
over.
end of the turn, her special doesn't actually give her any damage reduction for this combat, since Edelgard
Show me
gets
the
the
way.
higher defense check, and that means that she goes down without much of a fight.
Yes.
From here, we can smite
seek
Adel
a foe.
forward and have her get going on the rest of the team,
Your plan?
especially with Dimitri backing her up. I send in Dimitri first as usual, clearing out those bonuses and applying the haze.
I see your plan.
Once that's set up, Adel can take out the second Nid in the same
Day
turn,
of devotion.
酔っ払っていいよね。
On my way!
and then Dimitri can take out Embla,
Day of devotion!
get all the way back out to Sakura,
Why not? Is
and I
anyone
take a
hurt?
moment to just move the rest of the team around
Know that
before
I'm
letting
grateful.
Adel take out the second pin and Kanto to safety.
The day of devotion.
And while the plus 10 Heathrin is pretty impressive, there's just not much she's going to be able to get done when
Very well.
she's the only one left on the team. So we
Well
just
then.
pick up the second pot for a nice clean finish to the week, and let Edelgard close things out.
I am grateful.
This week felt a tad degenerate, but I can't deny that it was a lot of fun to plot out the right angles to approach some of these maps. Sakura is a fantastic enabler for player phase approaches, and it's great to see Edelgard and Dimitri thriving. Dimitri in particular feels like he'll age really well. Purging bonuses and Dragon Veins at the same time is a powerful niche to have as those effects become increasingly common. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. As always, I'm more than happy to talk about the matches with anyone who's curious. I also have a Discord channel if you'd like to hang out and chat. There's a link in the description, and I also have a Patreon link there if you'd like to help support the channel. As always, I hope you've enjoyed the video, good luck with your own matches, and I'll see you next time.